Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to today's webinar, Social Media Marketing for Brow and Lash Artists with the one and only Yessie Lash. Thank you so much for joining us all here today. I am going to drop a message into the chat right now. It says webinar tip. If you have questions for Yessie as we go, you can drop them here. So any questions that you have, you can drop in the chat. I will also be dropping you some great links as we go. So now that I've said all that, let's get started. Hi, Yessie. How are you?
Hi, good, and you?
Really, really good. Okay, so you have some just fire tips for us, and I've been excited about that since our rehearsal last week. But can we just start out by telling a little bit about you, who you are, how you got your start, all the goods?
So I'm a licensed esthetician. I specialize in eyelash extension. I'm also a makeup artist and a tattoo artist. But my main focus is always lashes. I do eyebrows too, but the main one is lashes. I started early my career when I was young. I started doing makeup and hair, and then found a passion for it, and actually got in the beauty industry formally with a licensed esthetician when in like 7 years ago when I moved to Orlando. So, and since then, I just got specialized in lashes, and that's the main thing that I focus on.
Brilliant. Yeah, and we can, of course, we can see some of your logo behind you, the Yessie Lash logo. I am dropping the link to your Instagram into the chat. We'll be going there a little bit later to show people some stuff, but perfect. Thank you so much. We are so excited to have you here leading this webinar. And if you're ready, I'd say let's get started.
Yes, I'm ready.
Perfect. Okay, so when it comes to tips and tricks, I'm going to let you lead the way. Where would you like to start with some of your big tips and tricks for social media marketing?
So the main thing that I think a lot of people have a misunderstanding is networking. So when you're networking, I think the main focus is network with people not just in your industry, but outside of your industry. I feel like when you focus in that, it happens to be that people are more able to participate in it and to be able to promote each other more than when you are based on your industry only. Like, for example, if you have a realtor or if you have somebody that is in a completely different industry, like clothing or other stuff, they will definitely be more open to share your post and share your work and share their clients with you versus if you are within the same industry, because of course it always leads to competition.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's like one of the main things, like network with everybody. I do work with a couple of influencers. I do target people that are not just in the beauty industry, but in different industries. So that way we're not stepping on each other's clients.
Absolutely. And that clearly makes a difference for you because I can see in the background right there.
I lost you there, Julia. Hello. I cannot see you, Julia. I lost you there, Julia. Can everybody hear me? Can you message me on the chat to see if everybody can hear me so I can continue while Julia gets back on it?
So sorry about that. Little
Oh
feet.
my God, I lost you. Should I continue?
Little feet resulted in a lost connection there for a moment. I'm back.
Okay. I'm glad you're back.
Yes, absolutely. So, okay, what I was trying to say is that all of this absolutely makes a difference because I can see that you've got a most busy award back there on your
Oh,
wall.
yes. It's right there. I keep myself pretty busy though.
Absolutely, yes. And if anyone in the chat didn't know, Yessie, aside from being a very busy business provider, business owner, and a Booksy ambassador, she was recently just a judge for us in a Booksy competition where she was going through a whole bunch of Booksy profiles and highlighting and spotlighting some of the most important things on all of them, part of which involved whether people were connecting with and engaging their Booksy profiles with their social media accounts.
Yes, and it was an awesome experience to see how everybody will interact and go out of the way to highlight their profiles on Booksy. It's just Booksy is such a great tool to help you. I call it my personal assistant because a lot of the times when I'm super busy, I send out the link, people book on their own. I get my reports there, and like I was able to see a lot of people interacting with all of that, and being able to be part of the Booksy team is just so amazing. You're able to take advantage to have a lot of help. Everybody's so into helping you and be in for to make it the best for you, which is awesome.
Absolutely. And since we've said that, how about I go ahead? I will share the screen and we can show people what your Booksy profile actually looks like and why this makes a difference when it comes to your social media accounts. So let's go ahead and show them that as we continue our conversation. When it comes to being a Booksy ambassador, when it comes to represent yourself online, here we go. I just really would like to highlight for everyone that you really do practice what you preach here. So when you talk about the importance of networking and the importance of being connected online, you really do practice that. You have your accounts connected here. You are actively showing and updating the classes that you have. And then you also take the time to share the reviews that you get as well. And that's really awesome.
That's extremely important to have all your accounts linked to your Booksy profile. Is extremely important because that way, if somebody finds you on Booksy, they can go ahead and check your Instagram, your Facebook, your website. It's nice to also know that once you move on and you have created a business and you have established classes too, Booksy is able to do classes. I also use my Booksy is able to be connected to my Zoom account, so it is automatically linked when I do online classes. I do keep everything up to date. It's very important to keep that profile up to date, and so people can, as soon as they're looking for somebody and they see your profile, they see tons of pictures that you've shared, they see nice reviews, they're going to be able to engage with you because they're going to trust your service, and that's extremely important.
Absolutely. And then something to highlight for you, aside from the fact that you keep everything up to date on your Booksy account, you then take and make sure that you have everything very cleanly connected in your Instagram as well, so that
that's my
all of your sorry, I didn't mean to get stuck on the child treadmilling, but so any classes that you have, you put them right in there and just make it very easy for people.
Yeah, so I try to keep, I'm not extremely active on the post, but I think the stories are what people are looking at every single day. So I keep myself very active on the stories. I keep up to date with the classes that I have going on, with the special promos that we have going on. Everything I post on my stories, and I try to keep it, like up to date where I'm posting everything. I do have classes in here in my studio, and I also have a class coming up in Virginia that I'm hosting in April. So I always keep posting all the information, and always I put the link on it so people can directly go on it and they're not, all confused about it.
Absolutely. So something that you highlighted in our conversation the other day was the importance of really speaking to the audience that you have. And I know that came up a bit in terms of networking. But for you, you said that something that you do, it actually involves even the languages that you use in your post. Would you like to go into that a little bit?
So definitely, if you're bilingual, always share both. I mean, I have following that only speak Spanish and some that only speak English. I try to add both to it. I try to post in Spanish, post in English. even though, like the main is English, I post in both, so that way I engage with both following. Because I do have a lot of clients and people that they don't understand when I post in English, so I try to make it for both. Is And you're having a much bigger audience when you target both if you're bilingual. That's definitely a plus. I
Absolutely.
also, as I mentioned to you before, I think a lot of people have the misunderstanding that if they target only people in their area, and that's not true. I target people within worldwide. Why? The reason is because I have people that have come from Mexico. I have people that have come from South America and do trainings with me. So it all depends on you. Don't limit yourself and think, well, I'm only going to target Orlando area or Dr. Philip area because this is where I'm at. I target, people worldwide because I know if there's people, I have clients come from London and visit me. So I have people from Italy. You have people that come from all around the world if you target everybody, and you're not limited to just your local people.
Absolutely. So when you talk about targeting, obviously we've seen what you do in terms of Instagram stories, but for you, social media marketing, it's not just Instagram. So how else are you targeting the various audiences that you
I
work with?
use Facebook, and let me tell you, a lot of people have the misunderstanding that they think that Facebook and Instagram is kind of the same. It's not. I have a totally different audience in my Facebook than I have on Instagram. So I post in both. And that's the importance of having them all linked, because I post in Facebook, I post in Instagram, I post on Twitter. Um, I try to be TikTok too. I'm kind of old fashioned with that, but I try. But I do it all. I have in Facebook, I have a regular page, and then I have the business page. So, and I have Facebook groups that you target too, that you always, I always try to keep up to date with the groups too. So that's very important in not to limit yourself that only Instagram is going to do it. You have to do them all, because you never know which audience is coming from where. Like I said, the audience that I have on Facebook is completely different than the one I have on Instagram.
Absolutely. And something that I think that you do that is very interesting. And of course you can have success either way, but I love that you highlight that you have a page for yourself as a master lash artist, a page for yourself as a person, like a personal page, and then you also have the page for yourself as a business page. And that's so
Yes.
important because people will see what you're posting differently depending on where it's coming from.
Definitely, it makes a difference. And then, for example, I do target the business one. Of course, I do mostly business. The one that is more like the Jessie Lash as an artist, I post stuff combined with my personal life and the business, so people can catch up both. Because I feel like you kind of give it a personal touch, kind of when you went on my Instagram and you saw my baby on the treadmill, the motivational one. Like I try to keep it where I do both, so that way people keep in, they like to keep that engagement, that person to person kind of feel like it's not just business. I cannot.
Absolutely. That makes a huge difference.
Yes, it does.
So you specifically mentioned Facebook groups, which I think is something so incredibly important that a lot of people really don't think about. How do you target different Facebook groups? What has you be interested in a group?
So I have my own group in Facebook, but I also go into different groups. Like there's the Orlando group, there's Lash Artist group, and there's so many groups that you. Facebook is so unlimited with groups that you can learn stuff from, groups that you can actually promote your business on, your classes, your everything is so, it's unlimited. And a lot of people don't take advantage of that. Like I'm on Facebook all the time, and I try to keep engaging with different groups and different people where you help give tips to them, but they also give tips to you. You get clients. It's an exchange of everything, and a lot of people don't use these tools, and they're completely free. Like it's not like you have to pay for them.
So now something that we will get asked at Booksy as well, and I'd love to hear your input. What has you decide this Facebook group, this particular one is one that I should be in? This one would make a difference for me because there's millions of them. I mean, there's millions and millions. So how do you narrow it down?
There is. I think it all depends on what you want to target. If you're trying to network, of course, you're going to look for groups that is for networking. If you're trying to sell your service, you're going to target groups that are for selling and offering service. If you're trying to offer something, for example, when I offer my classes, I go into groups where everybody's pinching in free information so they can attract more people to sign up for your classes. So it all depends on what you're trying to engage. The variety of groups, like I said, is unlimited. So you can search up whatever you think of, and you will always think up. Sometimes I search it up and I'm like, I don't think this group exists, but it's there. It's already, somebody already thought about it. So and it all depends on what you're trying to, like achieve. If you're trying to get clients, if you're trying to get students, if you're trying to grow, if you're trying to learn tips from, even from social media, there's a lot of groups there that they teach a lot of stuff on social media.
Absolutely. Now, something that I want to highlight for everyone, I'm going to show off your Instagram page again, because one of the biggest things on Instagram to take advantage of that can make a difference is, of course, this right here, the link that you are allowed to put in your bio. And for you, you have the link go specifically to your main Yesy Lash webpage, but you actually told me that there is something else that you do other than having this paid page that you do. You said that you have another type of page as well. Do you want to talk to us about that?
Yes. So a lot of people don't know and they're not aware that you can actually just buy your domain. And as a starting artist in lash business or beauty business, you can go ahead and go on Google and buy your domain. So my original domain was through Google. I paid $2.99 a year, and I created like a profile there, which is so cheap and so simple to use. As you can all see in there, is super basic. I have like only pictures in there. It says get a quote. It has promos that I've done. It has just pictures of my work, and then you have reviews of clients, and that's all it is. It's just one page. It's simple, it's clean. A lot of people, they don't know that you can buy your domain. That way, for the future, when you're trying to buy a website or sell products or get bigger, then you already have your domain, and you have it saved. And it's super simple to just create a profile there.
Yeah,
Talking about
that's
links, I also wanted to mention something before I forget. A lot of people don't know that Instagram had updated the where you, when you post your stories, you can post links there even if you don't have 10,000 followers. And a lot of people don't know that. We talked about it on the rehearsal. So you can go ahead and post stories now, and even if you don't have 10,000 followers, you can go ahead and attach your links to it, like links for your Booksy profile, links for everything. A lot of people don't know, and they think that if you don't have more than 10,000 followers, it's not going to allow you to. Just so you know, now Instagram is letting you do it. So make sure you take advantage of that and use it. Every time you post a promotion or your profile from Booksy, make sure you attach that link. It's going to make it so much easier for people to find you. It's going to make it so much easier for people to book.
absolutely, that is so incredibly important. And the fact that anyone can add that, like you said, you don't have to be at ambassador status or influencer status to be able to add those anymore. It's huge.
Yes, definitely. Another little tip that a lot of people don't take advantage of is the Amazon. So the Amazon also has like a storefront that you could use. Like I use it with my students, where I have a storefront and I send them the link. They can buy stuff there, and it's an affiliated marketing that you could use. I have it on my social medias and stuff, where you can click on it. I promote certain products that I don't have. I do not have them. They're like drop shipping products, and they purchase, and then I get a residual of those stuff that they buy from my storefront. And that's so simple to create too. You just go affiliate marketing for Amazon, and you sign up with your business, and it's super easy to use.
That is a really fantastic point, especially as more and more people are trying to find ways to build the merchandise or the associated products that they get asked about and emphasized all the time into their sales. So, okay, we've got a question from Melanie. So I'm gonna give you this, and we'll do a question diversion. She says, Melanie says, "Hi, Yesy. How do you get started with the Amazon storefront? Do you need to have a certain amount of followers for that?"
So the storefront, I think back in the days they were requiring like Instagram 10,000 followers. Now it's not necessarily. So you just have to make sure that you register yourself as a business, and as a business they don't ask you for the 10,000 followers. And it's super simple. You just go to Amazon affiliated marketing and you can sign up, and it's self-explanatory. It's not complicated to do.
Absolutely.
If you
Yeah.
need more help with that, I can help you with it. You can also book a class with me, to so I can help you set all that up.
Brilliant. That makes everything better. So I want to show everyone really quickly because of course being able to put the link in your bio, if you're sending it to your Booksy page, if you're sending it to your website, that's really amazing. But if you're not going that route and you don't want to go, say, the Google route for the link that you have in your Instagram, I do want to show you this. This is an example because Yessie uses her website. I'm showing you on the Booksy page. But this is an example. There are a lot of platforms you can use. Booksy, we use Linktree. So with this, we can have things arranged. We can have everything set up. If we have a great upcoming educational piece, like today's webinar with Yessie, we can put that right front and center with our education. We can also let people know about upcoming educational events, and we can have those very cleanly organized. And then, if someone's in this webinar and they're going, wow, that Best of Booksy award thing is cool, I wonder what that's about. If they go to the Booksy Instagram, they can find that right there. So anything that you can do to make people find you online really does make a huge difference. And then, of course, just emphasizing again that if you are using any sort of online booking platform, which of course we would love you to use Booksy, but wherever you are, do make sure that you are connecting all of your social media so that people can find you, so that they can see what you're up to, so that you can be networking, growing those audiences and connecting with people. Yessie's page is a phenomenal example of that. I'm going to drop that in the chat next, just so that everyone can see it and look at it and see what she does here and the difference that makes.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the a main success in social media. Posting your work, real pictures of your work is extremely important. Because then clients, they go by that. Reviews of clients, like that's extremely important. Booksy has an awesome feature where you go into every review and you can create your reviews and put the background either of the picture of the original work that you did on the client, or you can set it up as a different background, but you can also share on social media, and it's awesome. So it doesn't just stay in Booksy. You can share it on social media, and people love to see the reviews. I love when I see all of those reviews and share it with my other clients to encourage them to leave reviews for me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. And we are going to continue this conversation in the realm of social media. But right now, I am going to drop a quick link into the chat, because if you have been here in this conversation and you're hearing what Yessie is saying about Booksy and you're going, boy, that sounds really, really awesome, I'm going to drop you a link right now, because Booksy is always open to having new providers join our community marketplace and get discovered. So I'm actually dropping you our Join Booksy Get Discovered link. And after that, I am going to put the code that you can use to sign up for Booksy at any time through Yessie. And you don't have to go to this link. You can go to any link where you find Booksy, but this is a nice, easy one. And it breaks down some of those conversations around getting discovered and connecting with clients. That's very much the conversation that we're having here about really just succeeding and thriving, and where this social media, this online marketing makes a difference in that.
Yes, and I definitely recommend, of course, me being part of Booksy. I recommend, joining the Booksy team, because definitely has a lot of tools and a lot of information where it helps you grow. The stuff that they do a lot of free webinars. There's a lot of videos. There's a lot of instructional videos that you can learn how to grow your social media, and not just in social media, but in general, like your business, your how to create your profile, everything. So Booksy is a huge tool for me. It helps me grow so much. I've been with them for quite a while. I started with them since they started in Orlando, and I'm proud to say that, because it have grown so much, and I have grown with them too.
Yeah, well, and we're aware of what a difference it makes to be talking with people who are actively in their field up to things like that. So one more link before we go back into the social media conversation. I'm just dropping this for everyone. If you're listening to this and you're going, boy, this is amazing, and I want to do some of what Yessie does. I want to be doing this really getting to spread my education, to spread my skills, and to make a difference in the beauty community. I've just dropped a link for an upcoming webinar. It is on May 2nd, Monday, May 2nd, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And it is our next upcoming Ambassador Boot Camp. So if you are interested in what the Booksy Ambassador program looks like and whether that might not be a good fit for you with where you are in your beauty career, go ahead and sign up for that. It's free, just like all of our educational webinars are, and we would love to see you there and continue that conversation. So back to this social media world. When it comes, you said that on Instagram, you are a lot more focused on your stories than on posting every day. So what do you do?
Yes.
So what are some of the tactics that you take? What is it that you're going to be sharing to your stories to make sure that you're engaging with your followers in a way that they're interested in?
Well, one of the things that I love doing too is I post a lot of my clients' birthday and the people that I network with. I always promote like their birthdays, and they reshare it on their stories. And guess what? A lot of people see it that they have never known who their lash artist was or their a lash teacher was, and that helps with networking, because then you start getting followers from that person reposting when you post for their special day, which is, I think, extremely important to like post and tag people, because if you tag people, then those people are going to post, and if they post, then you're going to get following from those people. It's like a cycle, and that networking, I think, is so important that a lot of people don't realize is minimal. Like if you're posting a picture of somebody, tag that person is going to repost you, and then that person that reposts you has as many followings as they have. Not all of them are going to follow, but a few will, and you will gain following and people for service, people for classes. So that networking is very important. I particularly do it with the birthday, but you can do it in general. Like if I have somebody that's wearing, I also have a little boutique here in the studio. If they're wearing a clothing, I post it in mine, tag everybody, and that way we all tag each other and kind of like network that way. So it's extremely important to always share on your stories and tag people, that you're sharing the story with, because it helps a lot.
Absolutely. So, of course, we've discussed the fact that some people focus all of their social media energy on Instagram. You tend to spread yours out. Do you have a certain amount? Like, are you saying, all right, I'm going to spend this much time in Facebook groups and this much time in stories, or does it depend on what you're up to that given day?
It depends on what I'm up to, but I do suggest always link them together. It's extremely important if it's linked together. It doesn't take up a lot of your time. If you're posting something on Instagram, it goes automatically on your Facebook. So that way you don't have to keep engaging on both. You have it automatically set where you can post on Instagram, it goes on your Facebook. But then, of course, if I'm going into groups and stuff, I will have to go in those groups, because from Instagram you cannot. But if you have them linked together, it makes your life so much easier. You can link Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter all together and upload everything at once to the same one. So it's super convenient to do.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a huge difference. So I've just dropped in the chat. If you have questions for Yessie as we go, just like how Melanie did earlier, you can go ahead and you can drop those in the chat and we will be answering. Otherwise, we will continue this conversation. We will keep dropping gems. So that's all good. So here is a question for you, because you're managing everything with yourself as an artist, with yourself as a service provider, and also with yourself as a business owner. So for you, how are you juggling those different things to reflect in your content?
So, like I said, I always try to keep it where I don't limit myself, that I'm only promoting business all the time. I get online here and there. I do little videos. I post personal life too, and try to keep engaged with people, so it doesn't feel like I'm just promoting business instead of connecting with them too. If you try to keep that engagement, people are more interested in try, because they just don't know. It's only not about your business, and it's not about selling a product. It's also about having that connection. I think in general, not just in social media, but marketing strategy is not just the service that you provide. It's the connection you have with the client. It's that relationship you build with them. it's and to keep it engaged, that's what they keep coming back to you. It's not just the service, because there's so many people, and the competition is so big. It's about engaging with your clientele, and social media is an amazing free tool that you have to take advantage. You have to make sure you keep up to date with showing your work, showing your face in there, and keep everybody up to date where you up to, because that's how people nowadays, the world is like that. That's how they know that you're active, that you're working, that you're doing what you're doing, and also that's how you promote yourself. So if you keep it where you keep on, at least in your stories, you're always active, you're always interacting, letting them know what you're up to. If you're seeing clients, if you're teaching classes, whatever it is that you're doing is extremely important. And like I said, don't limit yourself to network with people that are not in your industry. And it's extremely important, because a lot of the times we think, well, we're going to network with just people that are in the industry. Of course, if somebody comes for me for lashes and then I have a nail girl, I can refer them to, and vice versa. But if you're networking with people that are outside your industry, it gets bigger, because then they feel more free to promote your business, because you're not in a competition with them. You're not going to target their clients and try to offer them other service that they might be offering, but they're free to promote it within their clients.
Yeah, the difference that we see in that is really remarkable.
It is. It helps network with people outside of your industry is amazing. I think I find it is, and like I said, people are more willing to participate in sharing your stuff, and promoting your business, just because you're not in the same industry.
Absolutely. So, okay, I'm going to shift the question a little bit, but to go back to that conversation around how you don't have to just talk to your industry, you don't have to just talk to your area, that makes my brain actually go to hashtags. So, everyone has their own thing about hashtags and what they do and how important they are. Would you tell us a little bit of your thoughts on hashtags, whether on Instagram, in stories, even in Facebook groups? What do you think?
I love hashtags, and that's another thing that is extremely important that you mentioned. So, for example, on your post or stories, what I normally do, if I'm posting a picture of one of my clients and that client is a Zumba instructor, I hashtag Zumba instructors. So I don't focus just in eyelash extension. I do my eyelash extension hashtag, which is the main one, but I always hashtag whatever the client is into, because it's going to help me target those people. And I do it on the stories. And a lot of the times when you post a story, you don't have to show the hashtag. You can create it and hide it on the story. So a lot of people don't get confused of all the hashtags that you're creating there. But if you do that, then those hashtags help you, like reach out to more people that a lot of people don't know. I have my own paste and copy paste hashtags that I do on my stories, and then keep it on the background. And then also on my post, you can just do it on your memo on your phone. Just copy a bunch of the hashtags that you normally use, and then change it, vary it as you go, depending on what gives you the focus on the picture or whatever you're posting. Like if I'm posting a person that's in real estate, I'll add on the hashtag for real estate. But I love hashtagging, because then you can, you open up to reach out to people that are not within your industry and within your area, but at the same time they could be a potential client or a customer for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got to ask, are there any particular hashtags that you follow regularly that you're like, I need to see everything in this one?
Well, I normally follow a lot of master lash artists and for lashes, and that's like the main one that I always do. But I'm also a big fan of motivational speakers, so I follow everything that's motivational speaker. And those are like the main two people that are doing, like always focus on people that are doing bigger things that you are, so that way you learn. Don't focus on people that you're trying that's in your area, or you're trying to just focus in the stuff that you want to do. Learn from the people that are doing better than you, so that way you can accelerate your career and get higher at a higher level. So I always suggest to go for the hashtag of people that are doing an excellent job at what they're doing, that have grown bigger, that you can learn from them, and it's kind of like a motivation for you.
Absolutely. So one of the benefits of Instagram stories, which of course can also be Facebook stories, one of the benefits is that they live on your feed for that 24 hours and then they're gone. Although, of course, we can save them into highlights. So for you, what would make a story be worthy of, and you have those very nicely organized highlights, you have them all labeled. What for you makes a story worthy of staying in your highlights versus just going away at the end of the day?
Well, if it's stuff that is, especially if it's dated, stuff that are dated, I don't put it on the highlights. I can just repost it into is, the date is gone. But if it's work, I put it on. Reviews, I put it on. Like stuff that are gonna be interesting for my following to just go back in it and check. Is important for me to keep it on the highlights. The type of different lashes that I do, the different reviews that I receive, the studio pictures, all of that stuff, marketing material that I have, like in general, where I have different videos for marketing that I do for classes or for the location. I keep it on the highlights. I don't keep every single thing just because I don't think everything is, important for everybody to continue to see.
Absolutely. So we've had these social media conversations with different people in different verticals over the past few weeks. And for you, being both a beauty provider, but also being an entrepreneur and an owner of a space, I'm curious, how much do you pay attention to current trends? Like, are you gonna, if you suddenly notice that people are doing, a before and after post where the old lash is over here and the new lash is over here, are you going to start doing that? Or are you going to keep doing the types of posts that you've been doing?
I always like to mix it up where I do the trends, but I also keep it original for myself. Like that way I stand out from others. I mix it up where sometimes if it's a trend that I it calls my attention, I'll do it. But if it's something that I'm gonna keep myself doing original and something that not a lot of people are doing, I'm more type of standing out for what like your original appearance. For example, I love the big square ones and stuff, and I haven't gotten over that. And I love those. I love the before and after, but I also the ones that I love the most is posting pictures of your client selfie, not you taking a picture of the client, but the client being happy with what you did for them, the client being satisfied. That's a whole different level of posting, because then people will notice, oh, okay, so this client was happy, she sent a picture and she's posting the picture, versus I'm taking the picture and we have to fix up the picture and it looks very professional and it looks good, but it's not the same as the person letting I'm super satisfied with the service. So I think that's very important. I always tell my clients, if you're happy, send me a selfie and that will make my day. And of course reviews, but the selfies are very important because then that shows that the person is happy with what you did.
Absolutely. And something about you particularly that I think makes it so easy for your clients to do that, you have the same name everywhere. Like you've done that for your Instagram, for your Facebook, for your Twitter, for your website. That's so nice when it's coming from the perspective of, somebody trying to find you. Oh my goodness.
I think branding yourself is so big and important. Like you have to brand yourself and focus that that's the brand that you're gonna go for. That's how you're gonna be. As I have everything, my tools, my lashes, everything is branding. Like I have my brand everywhere. My logo it represents you. So branding yourself and having a brand, a logo, a name that everybody knows you by, that everybody will be familiar with, is so important. I had an experience the other day. I took my husband to the CVS clinic, and I walked in there, and the person looked familiar, and we kind of like talked to each other. I was like, "Your face looks familiar," and she's like, "Your face looks familiar." And then I had my mask on that says Jessie Lash, my Jessie Lash mask, and she looked at it and she's like, "Oh, you're from Jessie Lash. I came in there and I saw one of your girls." She's like, "You have that big sign in Turkey Lake." So that's so important because as soon as they see your logo somewhere, they recognize you. And it's extremely important to brand yourself. Always go for, like, if it's gonna be your personal name, brand it and enforce it where to get to a point where people see it and they know exactly where you are and they know exactly who you are. And it's extremely important to brand yourself. I'm a big fan of branding and branding yourself and trying to. I think I'm passionate about being your own brand. You know, if you become that, then success is just gonna follow.
And to keep to the theme, it's so much easier to get discovered if you have that same name, that same brand everywhere.
Definitely, definitely. I agree.
So I have to ask, for the people that don't know, your first name is Jessica, but
Yes.
would you like to tell us a bit about what had you decide on Yessie Lash as the name that you were going to commit to?
So when I actually started thinking about doing lashes, I wasn't sure of like how to target myself, because a lot of people, that I at first, let me tell you, my name at first was Yes Eyelash, and I actually have an Instagram for it. It's just that then I switched it up, and it's still active. I still have followers there and everything. I just don't promote there no more. But it used to be Yes Eyelash because of my YES dot and then eyelash. Then I switched it up that it was easier to do Jessie Lash because everybody calls me Jessie, and then the lash part because I was doing lashes. So I started with Jessie Lash, and then everybody started calling me Jessie Lash, and that's how I stayed. And I started branding off of that, because at first, when I first started, I started off from my house, so I didn't have a business. I started off just offering the service. I will offer people, come try me, and if you like it, I'll do it for free the first time. If you like it, then you come back and pay me for it. And that's how I started marketing myself when I moved to Orlando, because I didn't know anybody. So I had to give a lot of free services for a lot of people before I started actually getting paid for it.
So that's a really good point, and that's something that we, in those Facebook groups, that is an ongoing conversation of how do you really start growing that audience in the beginning, and how do you get them there. And you mentioned that, which I think a lot of people do when they're new to something. They're like, let me practice on you, let me show this off, and that's brilliant. So were you reminding clients? Were you saying, hey, make sure that you tag me? Like, were they just doing it on their own? Were you having to sort of like hound them a little bit? How'd
So
that
when
go?
I first started with lashes, it was very new here in Orlando, so it was very easy for them to express how happy they were with the lash stuff. Very familiar. They knew that I was doing lashes. Back in Miami, where I grew up, or New York, California, it wasn't big in Orlando, so it was easier for them to show it off because they were extremely happy about the results. But I also will give them incentive. Like I will say, hey, if you bring me more than 3 clients this month, then you will get a free refill, and then give me a post and I'll give you a free refill and stuff like that. At first, I was giving a lot of free stuff, and especially I would partner up with influencers that were known in my area, and I will ask them to come visit me and do, like I will do a perform a free service, and then they will share the experience on social media. I think it still works a lot. I still have for many years I've had awesome influencers that I work with, and I still give them, discounts to come see me, and they post how happy they are with the service, and that, brings me a lot of following and a lot of people coming back to my services.
Absolutely. Yeah. So to go back to this question of branding, because we do see that a lot. And of course, you can't be in a Facebook group without seeing, hey, hit me up and I'll design you a logo. But what has you decide, okay, I should put my logo on this photo should be standalone. This one should be more like a poster. This one should have my logo on it. Do you have a specific method for how often you use your logo and on what platforms?
On everything. I pretty much use my logo on everything. Not just on pictures. I think on everything that I post, I try to put, even if it's a good morning, is my logo is there. So I do post it on everything. Like I said, if you embrace your brand and you go all about your branding, it's gonna get to know. There's gonna be people that are gonna be like, I saw this logo somewhere. It's important for you to do it, because is if you brand yourself out, putting your logo everywhere is extremely important. That's why I'm saying I even have how do you call when you do the, when you post a story and you have the, what's the name of the,
Is it the
oh,
stickers?
the gift, the
Oh,
gift.
yes.
I have my logo there too. So you have to embrace your brand everywhere, because that's going to help you stand out.
Absolutely.
If it's not a logo and your name, did I lost
Nope.
you there for a
Nope, we're
moment? I'm
good.
back. Okay. If it's just your name, just embrace it. As you can see in my mirror, you see this mirror right here has the logo, but also that mirror there has the logo. I have it everywhere. And it's like I said, I think it's so important for you to brand your name. If you come from to the studio, like my storefront doors have logos, then you come in, you have logos everywhere, you could see it. And it's important because people will remember that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it makes all the
Nice logo
difference.
somewhere.
Sorry about
Even
that.
if it's just a name, if it's a name, your name is going to stand out for the services that you promote if you keep on branding yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so in this logo conversation, we have a very excited question from Melody. From Melanie, I can tell from the question mark exclamation point. She says, "How did you make your logo a GIF? Do you remember how you did that?"
So I'm not gonna lie, I had a professional person do it for me. Techie Films did it for me, but nowadays you have so many apps. I think Canvas you can do it now. I did it like 2 3 years ago, so I paid somebody to do it. My marketing person, my videographer person did it for me. But nowadays you can just go on Canvas and do it. There's so many apps right now that you can create it. I think even in your iPhone you can create it yourself, and it removes like a background and you do it. It's super easy to do, but Canvas is the place that I've seen that you could do it.
And just to go back to that networking conversation, Melanie, I'll add one more thing, which is that this is one of those places that actually reaching out into Facebook groups and things can make a huge difference because I mean, if you're going to hire someone to make your logo into a GIF, you might as well see if they'll post it and celebrate it afterwards.
Definitely, definitely. Because I mean, this stuff can be pricey too to hire people. But if you have the time, I suggest you to learn from it because then you're not limited to just having one or five. That is normally what they sell you. You can create unlimited ones, and if you have the time to do it yourself, definitely it's worth it.
Absolutely. And I will also add that YouTube is a great resource, of course, for things like that, just like it is for education and everything else. And so, having said that, I have just dropped the Booksy on YouTube link into the chat where you can find all of our prior educational webinars and this webinar with Yessie as well. So if you are, tomorrow, the next day going, oh gosh, there was something that she said about the value of something on some platform somewhere, you can go ahead and you can find her on YouTube. And because Yessie is on YouTube, we'll be able to tag her and it's all nice and clean and it's that same exact handle. It makes such a difference.
Yes, it does. So that's why it's important for you to create your domain, your Instagram, your Facebook, everything the same name, because that way, no matter where you go, you tell somebody, oh, just find me on Facebook, Jessie Lash, or find me on Instagram, Jessie Lash. Like, it's not going to be hard for them to find you because everything is the same, versus trying to, change it where, well, here I have this one, here I have that one, is hard.
And I'll also add that if you get to the point where you are partnering with brands, the way that Yessie does with Booksy, the way that a lot of our provider and ambassador community do with us, to make it so that when someone like me is searching for you, I can search Yessie Lash on any platform and find her. Oh, that is glorious. From the perspective of the person that you might be working with in the future, it's very, very handy. So I'll just throw that out there as well.
It is, and it helps, when you promote yourself that way with your brand. You can even go on Google and search up the name of the brand and it will pop up. And that's how a lot of people find me. Like, they see the logo and they're like, okay, I Googled Jessie Lash and I found so many reviews and so many stuff on you. And it's because throughout the years I've been building that. It's not just one or two websites or my personal website. You have reviews from a lot of other people within the industry or outside of the industry that have posts like blogs about me and stuff about that. And just because of my brand has been out for so long, it comes up on Google.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that really, truly does make all the difference. If we're talking about networking, if we're talking about marketing yourself on social media, it's really about brand awareness. That's what it all boils down to, which
It's
is why we were.
extremely is so important. I've had people create blogs for me that I've never known in person, which is so important because if they're creating a blog of a outstanding lash artist in the area, and then they saw that I had good reviews, they added me to the blog, and I never even met them before. So that's so important for you to market yourself to everyone and to keep your name as a brand and promote it everywhere in every platform, because it's gonna stand out in the Google and social media, and everywhere where you search it up, it's gonna come up.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. Oh, it's just glorious. All the gold is happening right now. So okay, we are coming to the end of our time for this social media marketing webinar. So I just wanted to ask, are there any final pieces that you want to make sure to share? Are there any trends that you'd like to talk about that you love or you hate right now? Anything that you want people to know that you're up to at the moment?
I think one of the greatest tool that's coming up is TikTok, and I've been trying to learn it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Instagram is amazing, but TikTok is coming up with a lot of new tools. A lot of people are their attention is going towards it. The music, the stuff, those short videos. A lot of people like it. So I will definitely move towards TikTok too. Like, don't limit yourself to just Instagram. TikTok is the way to go. Like I said, don't limit yourself to Instagram. Facebook, you have a different clientele, a completely different client and audience there. The groups are amazing. So I think the newest trend is TikTok, definitely. So I suggest to go on that one. The other thing that I think is amazing, how nowadays everything is on social media. Like, there's not one thing that you can hide from social media. So, promote yourself on social media, hashtag as many people, take advantage of that. Don't forget to use the link, and you be able to add it to your stories. Always tag people in it to promote yourself. That's extremely important. Like, I think it will make your life so much easier if you have a post about your work and you're tagging people, and then they're reposting. That is extremely important.
Yes, agreed 100%. And actually, one last thought from the Booksy side of things is that a platform that you might not currently be looking at that you should keep in mind is actually LinkedIn. You may be connecting with less, for instance, other brow and lash artists, but you're going to be connecting with people that are going to be on the more networking side, people that will be needing lashes done, that will be needing brow tinting done, that may be wanting a new tattoo. So to really be able to share what you're up to there. And I think so many times it's easy to forget, because you're an artist, because you are all of these different things simultaneously, that you are also a business professional. By virtue of what you do, you are a business professional. So to really let yourself market yourself that way can make a huge difference as well.
Yes, it's important, and it's important to market yourself in all platforms for that. Like, just keep on marketing yourself. Of course, showing up your work is important, but then also create marketing material for social media is extremely important. And to separate a little bit of time to do it, there's a lot of new apps and stuff that helps you connect with it, that you can kind of like schedule posts and stuff like that. That is so much easier. There's too many tools right now out there to just focus in one. But I personally love Canvas too, but Booksy helps me so much with creating content too. That is I combine it both, and it's amazing.
Absolutely. Well, so glad to hear that. Have been so glad to be able to discuss all of this with you today. So glad that we are recording this so that it will be able to go on YouTube for everyone who wasn't able to make it today, or everyone who did make it and was scribbling away furiously and needs to go back and collect a few things that they may have missed along the way. So thank you so much for being here with us today, for sharing your knowledge and your wisdom. It's been wonderful.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And for everyone who is here watching today, you can go to that link tree that I showed you. I will drop the link in the bio. And just so you know, there is always upcoming new free Booksy education available. We really are committed to the growth of everyone who is here in our Booksy community, and just seeing us, and in the broader community of beauty as a whole, and really seeing all of us grow together and succeed together and excel together, because there's space for all of us to be here. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, Yessie
Thank
Lash.
you for having me. Thank you all for attending.
And have a wonderful day, everyone.
You too. Take care.